Everybody can hear me. Good evening. Good evening. I believe everybody can hear me.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, beautiful.
We can hear you, sir.
Beautiful. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome, everyone. Fellow, I can see you. You're welcome. Sylvester, Janugo, you're welcome. Okay. So you're welcome to the TRO, the Ready Writers Consults, and these are cohorts for data analysis. So today we're going to be looking at some things on Power BI. Okay, I'm going to be taking you on some stuff on Power BI. Okay, and I'll soon share my screen so that we'll see our PowerPoint presentation. So we'll take it from there. So, but before we proceed, I would like to know if anyone here has an idea of Power BI, if I've heard about it before. If you have, can you please type in the comment section? If just say yes, anything. Let me know if anyone here has heard about Power BI, or if you have been opportune to be in a class, or you already know Power BI, or you are even an advanced or professional, Power BI specialist. I would like to know, please. You can type in the comment section. You can just use the comment section. Are we there? Are we there? Can you hear me, please?
Yeah.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. While we wait for those to come on, let's start our presentation while other people come on board, okay? So I would like to share my screen, okay? I'd like to share my screen right away so that we can start. Okay, sharing. Why is my Google Chrome not responding? Hello, please, can we see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Yes, I can see.
Yes,
Okay.
I can see.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please, if at any point you can't hear me, please, Mary, please let me know, okay? So thank you very much once again for joining the class. This is a Power BI training for interns, okay? So we're going to look at Power BI. What is Power BI? What we use it for? How does it, you understand, how does it come to play in our life or in our businesses, in our careers, okay? We are going to be looking at that, okay? So let's look at what we are going to be looking today. We are going to be looking at our objectives. We are going to try to understand the Power BI workflow. We are going to try and build dashboards, and we're going to try and perform analysis. And that's going to be we're going to do some part of it today. Then we are going to do the other part by tomorrow. Okay. So if you pay attention, we are going to start. While I'm looking at if more people will come in, but while they come in, let's continue. Let's look at Power BI. Let's look at the introduction part of Power BI. What exactly is Power BI? What do we understand by Power BI? How does it come to play in businesses? Why do people use it in their careers? Why do people even pay a lot of money to go and learn it? Power BI as a tool in businesses is a very big thing. Big thing in the sense that clients, companies pay a lot of money for those who know how to use it. Okay. It's basically not just a data analysis tool, it's also a business intelligence tool. Okay. It's used mainly to create not just insights, but to create visualization, which is its main purpose anyway, to create visualizations so that your customers, your clients, you understand, the company you work for can be able to gain insights into their businesses, into what they do. So what exactly is Power BI? What is Power BI? Okay. Power BI is a platform built by Microsoft. Okay. To run data analysis, to analyze data, create visualization, and build insights and bring out insights into their businesses. Data is power. Data comes from a lot and a lot and a lot of places. Everything we do, we create data. Some businesses have data that many of them cannot interpret. So what do? They look for experts who can interpret that data for them so that they can run their business effectively. So that's why when they look for people who actually know how to use this platform, a platform like Power BI, they pay a lot of money for that. So what do these people do? They take their data, okay, bring it into Power BI, analyze the data, and then create visualizations, create visuals that they can use, okay, to create insights into their businesses that they can use to not only power their businesses, also make their businesses profitable, okay, also make their businesses profitable. So Power BI 1 is a platform. It's built by Microsoft. It's used to create visualizations. It used to do data analysis, okay, to analyze data, okay, create insights, okay, so that businesses can use it not just to power their businesses, create more profit for their businesses, but be able to understand their businesses better. I believe we all can hear me. Hello, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Please, can I go on?
you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I need that to know that I can go. So why use Power BI? Why do we need Power BI? Why use Power BI at all? Why use Power BI? Because Power BI, of course, is a platform. There are other platforms like Excel. There are other platforms like Tableau. There's also a platform where you can create visualization. But why use Power BI at all? Okay. Power BI is a great tool in the sense that you can use Power BI to connect to data from any sources at all. Power BI can do that. You can connect data from different sources. It could be from a flat file. It could be from an Excel workbook. It could be from the web. It could be from a database, like an SQL database. Okay. It could even be from the cloud. You can connect millions and millions of data into your Power BI, and you'll be able to analyze that data in Power BI. Okay, that's one of the reasons, that's one of the things why we use Power BI a lot. Okay, and one of the beautiful things about Power BI also is that it's built on the same engine, with Excel. So if you know how to use Excel, you can easily translate, and you can easily use Power BI too, because both of them are on the same engine. Like when you talk about Excel, you have Power Query in Excel. If you know how to connect data, you understand, in Power Query in Excel. Okay, you also have formulas, like Excel uses formulas. Okay, in Power BI, there's something we call DAX. We'll get to that later. That's data analytics expression. You use it to create formulas, you use it to create calculated fields, use it to create measures. Build data, just like when you create connections, relationship with that, you create connections, you create relationships with your tables. Okay, you can do that. You can do that in Power BI. So that's one of the great things about using Power BI. Okay, then you can also build relational models. When I mean relational models, what I mean is that we can create table relationship. You understand? So we can analyze different sources of data at the same time. They can be in different tables, but because of the relationship we create within that Power BI, we can take from this table, we can take a column from this table, add it to this column, add it to another table, and be able to analyze our data properly. Okay, that's one of the beautiful things you can do with that. You can also do complex calculations, just like I said, using DAX. You can do basic, you can do complex calculations using DAX. DAX is DAX, that's data analysis expression. We'll come to that when we get to the platform itself. Then you can build visualization, which is one of the powerful tools. You can build visuals, you understand? You can build charts, interactive dashboards, reports, okay? Because that Power BI is a reporting tool. It's a reporting tool. So you can build your dashboards to create a report for your clients, okay, or for the company you work for, okay. Then Power BI is also a leading is an industry is a leading leader. Oh, sorry, is the industry leader among BI platforms. Of course, we have Tableau, we have other forms of visualization, but Power BI, one of the beautiful things that it is easy to use, okay, because a lot of people have background in Excel, they can do Excel, they can use Excel. So once they translate to Power BI, it's easy for them to use, okay? So that is one of the things. Then there are components of Power BI. We have the Power BI desktop, we have the Power BI service, and we have the Power BI mobile. Now, the Power BI desktop is where you will do most of your work. That's where most of the work is done, okay? If you can see my screen, I would just like to show you. I have Power BI downloaded on my system, and I have one. This is what, I believe you can see my screen. This is what a Power BI desktop looks like, okay? This is what a Power BI desktop look like. This is where you build your visualizations and other things, okay? Then a Power BI service is basically for reporting. It's where you share your reports after building your dashboard and everything. You can now go to your Power BI service and publish your reports. Okay, that Power BI service is online. Okay, you have a connection to an email and listen, and you share your reports, and your clients and wherever you're working for can now see the report on the Power BI service. Okay, and Power BI mobile is just basically the app where you download the Power BI on your mobile phone and you use. Okay, so that's for that. Then let's continue. So now let's look at the Power BI interface and the workflow. Okay, so let's look at navigating the Power BI interface. If you use Excel and you're familiar with Excel, you understand mostly the things that has to do with Power BI, like the ribbons. Like, I believe you can see my screen. See? I believe we can see my screen clearly.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so let's look at the Power BI interface itself, okay? This is the Power BI interface. There are different parts of it. This part is where we build our visuals, okay? Here we build our visuals. If you look by my left, this is where we build the reports. Here we build our visuals with our data. Secondly, under it, we see the table view. If you click on the table view, this is where we'll see our tables, columns, and that we have already imported into Power BI. These ones have already imported them just for an example's sake, but we are going to go, when we start, when we want to build a visualization, we'll go back to bringing in data, okay? So we learn how to get data into Power BI. Then another important part is the model view. The model view is where relationship is created, where you create relationship between tables, okay? That relationship is very, very important, because when you have relationship between your data, you can be able to access each column in each table, okay? Then we have the DAX view. This is a new update on Power BI, but most of the queries you write, you will see them on DAX view. But mainly you'll be working with the report view, you'll be working with the table view, and you'll be working with the model view. Okay, so these are basically the things in the Power BI. All these places you can see, these are the ribbons, these are the place where you can get your data. Let's say I want to get data, I can come here and click, and I'll get my data, and I can get data from any source I want. It could be from the web, it could be from my system, it could be a CSV file, it could be an Excel file, it could be even from a database. You can collect to an SQL database and be able to get your data. Okay. Okay. Then in terms of getting the Power BI itself, Power BI is free. Power BI is free. The platform itself is free. Of course, they have the paid one, they have the free one, but you can download Power BI for free. I will not get into the details of downloading Power BI because that would take us an extra time. It would be like a lesson for a full whole day, okay, for us to download Power BI and get put all the settings together. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to download, okay, but we have one that we can use for our practice, which is the one I already use on my system. Okay, so let's look at the different, let's navigate the Power BI and see. Let's navigate a bit Power BI, look at the ribbon, the fields, the visualization, the filters. Let's look at the workflow. This is the most important part in Power BI. You need to understand the workflow in Power BI. Between you connect means you're connecting to your data source. It can be in your computer, it can be anywhere. Okay. Then you get to the point where you transform the data. You transform the data. Transforming means you can check for your data types, you can check for errors, you can check for duplicates, you can do whatever transformation you want to do with your data before you now load it. Okay, we now load it into Power BI. Then the part when you now load into a Power BI, you now check for model. Model is a relationship. Model is the relationship. It is this part in Power BI. So let me come back to here. This is where we call model. When you connect each tables, you'll connect them together. There's a field called something they call primary key. Okay, you use it to connect them. You build a relationship. In building that relationship, you are actually doing data model. It's called data model. You can call it data model. We call it a relationship. You're building a relationship. Okay, so we'll look how to do that. Then before you now go ahead visualizing, okay, now go ahead visualizing, creating your charts, okay, creating insights into the data. Then you now go to the last part, which is to share. So that's basically the workflow. You connect, you transform, you model, you visualize, and then you share. Okay, so that's the workflow for Power BI. Okay, you connect, you transform, that's you connect to a data source. Okay, we are going to do that. Then we transform, then we model, then we visualize, then we share. Okay, so I hope I'm connecting that. I hope I'm connecting. I hope you can connect.
Yes, sir, we are connecting.
Okay, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's look how we can connect to data sources. Like I said, we can connect to Excel file, we can connect to CSV, we can connect to web, we can connect to SQL. Let's see how we can, let's start with that, because what we want to try to do today is, let's get to this point where we understand Power BI, understand the Power Query, okay? Learn how to get data from sources and put it into Power BI, okay? We learn how to transform the data. Then in the next class, we can now learn how to build the visualizations, okay? So let's go back. So if you allow me, let me go back to Power BI. I have some data I connected already, was building some stuff. So what I would do, I would delete them. Okay. These are the datas here. Okay. We'll talk about this interface when we start building visualizations. Okay. So let me go back and remove them from the Power Query source. So let me go to transform data and click on transform data. And please, you also be patient. Some of these things take a few minutes, understand, to connect. Okay. Then one of the beautiful thing about Power BI also is that you can connect to millions of rows. You can connect millions of rows. Okay. In Excel, you can also connect to millions of rows, but once it's on Excel spreadsheet itself, Excel can do, I think, 1,000,000 for the 400 and something, 1,485,000 rows or thereabout, except you create an existing connection, just create a connection through Power Query. That's why you can now deal with millions of rows. And in dealing that in Excel, you definitely will still have to, create a Power, query. So we're still waiting for it to take me to the Power Query. So what I want to do, I want to get data into Power BI. Okay, I want to get data into Power BI. I want to see how we can get our data into Power BI and then transform it. Okay. So come on. That's a Power BI for a lot of times. It takes time to connect. So please, why it connects? Please, if you have any little question, we don't have to wait for the Q&A because of our time. While we're waiting for it to connect, we can still be answering whatever question, pertaining what we are doing, what we are learning. Okay, please. You can ask a question. Mary, I believe that's okay. Hello,
It's
Mary.
fine.
Hope it's okay.
Yes, sir. It's fine.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Please, if they have any question on the chat, please, you can help me read it out so that I'll, okay? All right, trying to, okay, so we have our Power Query here. So this point is this point is called the Power Query, okay? Here is where we do all our transformation, or transformation, you can call it editing if you want, okay? Where we check for our data types, where we check if our column names are correct, if is that's how we want them, where we can remove or we can add columns, where we can change our dates and stuff like that, okay? So this is where we do all our transformation. It's called the Power Query. It's basically the backbone of Power BI, okay? Basically the backbone of Power BI, okay? So these are the data I've loaded already in Power BI. So what I will do, I will basically go over them and delete them so that I can just start from source and bring in data, okay? So do we have a question? Let me see. Okay, thank you. Any questions here? So we've deleted that for customers. We will delete this one too. We'll delete for employee. Delete query. Okay, please, we just have to do this so we'll understand it better, okay? I would have started using it from here, but I said, no, let's get down to let's just, and even if we have to import just few of the data so that we can see how it is done. It's very important. It's because of the time. Power BI is a class that you do for almost 3, 4, 5 weeks, okay? So, but we're just trying to introduce it here and see how it goes, okay? So we'll delete employees, delete query. Delete food inventory. Okay. Okay. Delete products. Okay. Okay, we have errors in food inventory. I'll still delete it. I don't want to. Okay, let's leave the food in, let's leave that one since it doesn't want to delete. We'll add to it. Okay. So in preparing your analysis, you have to get data. How do we get data into Power BI? How do we get data into Power BI? You come to your Power BI after opening your Power BI. Okay. Come to your visuals. Okay. You click on, you'll see where it says get data. Okay. You get data. So once you click on get data, it will show you all the kind of data you can get. So basically, I want to get a data from my system. Okay, it's a CSV file. So I'll just click on the one I want. You can get from an Excel workbook. Okay, can also get from a Excel workbook. So this is where my files are. Okay, I want to get this customer lookup. Let's say, okay, let me start with calendar. Let me import it into Power BI. Okay, let me import it into Power BI. So I'll open it. So you click on open. Yeah, discard all changes. So please, as we're learning, you bear with me because Power BI a lot of times, because of the amount of data it processes, sometimes it's a bit slow. That's why your patient is, it's not as fast as, sometimes we use Excel. And there's something where on the query calendar wasn't found. Cancel. Okay. Let's try that again. Let's go to get data. Let's go to get data. Get data. Go to text CSV. Go down. Let's import this calendar. Let's open. And let's see. So normally when it opens, when you are getting your data, it doesn't just open it. It doesn't open it on the visuals. It opens it on the Power Query. Okay, it's in the Power Query is where you transform your data. Okay, that's where you perform all the transformation, everything you will need to do before you now load it into your Power Query. So it has opened it. This is a preview of what is in my calendar. Okay, now when you come down here, you will see load, you will see transform data. Please, at any point in time, if you're using Power BI, please always use the transform data. Not that you cannot load it directly into Power BI, but it's always better you transform, you check for, you use the transform data, because what this does is it helps you to look at your data and see the kind of columns you have, the data types you have, you understand, and if the columns or if the rows or if there are duplicates or if there are errors in it, you can be able to transform your data. So I'll click on transform data. Okay. So it will go ahead to open to open the Power Query for me. It's running it, it's opening it. Okay. So why is opening it? Let's look at some of the ribbons that we use in Power Query. Okay. In Power Query, we have the home, we have the transform, we have the add, we have the view, the tools, and the help. Most of the time you'll be using the home, the transform, and the add column tabs. Okay. So basically everything you will need to do with your data, you use it, you'll find it here. Okay. When you want to transform your data, it will bring out the points where you either add column, where you either check for your data types, where you either check for your year or change the year, or even bring out the year, the date, and and every other thing. So then, in case you want to add and remove columns, you can do that here. So everything transformation is done on the Power Query. It's taking a lot of time, Come on. Come on. So please, do we have any question? Why are you taking so much time to load? Mary, please, how much time do we have?
We still have time, sir.
Okay.
We still have the practical tomorrow, so.
Okay. Because I want to try as much as possible so that we can get most of the data, because when we get data into the system, into the Power BI, then we'll now be able to know see the power and what Power BI does. Okay, but it's just taking time, just rolling. Okay. There's something we can do. If this one doesn't want to work, we can close. Yes, close it. Close it. Okay, let's just close it and see. Let's open Power BI. So like I was saying, Power BI is built on the same engine with Excel. So if you use Excel, it will be easy for you to also use Power BI, okay? Power BI is mainly a visualization tool. Why it's more powerful than Excel is because it's really built on visualization, okay? It's really built on visualizing, okay? So you can create a lot of visuals with Power BI. So let's try, let me open a Power BI. Let me open it again so that to see if it will be faster, okay? So some of the common transformations we can do, like I was saying, is that we can remove columns, we can filter rows, we can change data types. I believe we know when we talk about data types, we know what we mean. Data types are like we have data types like the dates, we have data types like integers, which is like numbers, ints, okay? Then we have data types that are like floats, which are also integers, but they have decimals. We have data types that are like strings that are like text. If you do Excel, you will see they use strings. They call them strings that are like text. Okay. And we also have Boolean data types. Boolean data types are either true or false. Okay, they can be true or they can be false. Okay, so those are the things you can do in Power Query. So you check for the data types, and if they are not in order, you change the data types. But one thing that Power BI does is that Power BI can detect the data, can detect the kind of data type and actually apply it for you. That's one of the beautiful things you can do. You can check for the data type and you know the kind of data type, whether it's a text, whether it's a string, whether it's a text, whether it's a float, whether it's an integer, whether it's a Boolean, and it will apply it. That's one of the beautiful things about that. So let's see, do we have our Power BI open? Sometimes it does like this because it takes time to load. That's why sometimes when you want to install Power BI, you give yourself a lot of time. That's why we are not taking installation in this class, okay? Because it take a lot of time to install. So we'll have our Power BI on. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is Power BI. Okay. So these are some of the files. You can click on any one to open. Okay. So I was on. So let's open one. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We don't have time. We don't have the time. We have all day. Beautiful. Okay. So we have. Don't worry about recovering anything right now. Okay. So okay. Once it's done working on it, then we'll go back to opening our files. Okay. So let's see. I don't want to recover any files for now. So let's close that. Okay. So let's see if it can allow us import that open recovery. No. Okay. So it's still showing me the data I've actually imported. Okay. I've actually imported before, and some of the stuffs I've done on them. So let's get to transform. Let's get to transform that data again, and let's remove them. Okay. Transform that. Transform that. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so these are some of the data. So let's remove these ones and see. So let's delete. Let's delete the query. Okay. We delete this too. Please, thank you for your patience in holding on. these are tools, okay, that we use, and a lot of times when you work with them, you have to be patient with them. So, especially when you are doing analysis with them, so you don't tend to get errors, okay? So now we have deleted most of the queries and most of the tables were imported before, okay? So let's go back and see if we can get, if we can get, if we can get new data, okay? So let's go to our visuals. Let's click on get data. All these ones are going to go. We should come back to them. So let's click on. It's what we're trying to achieve here is to see how we can bring in data from our from our from our source file. So I was trying to bring in calendar. Let's see. Let's open. Let's see if it open it in Power Query. See. Okay, beautiful. Like I said before, we use the transform data. Okay, beautiful. Now, this is the data. This data is what we brought in from our source file. Okay, so if you look at this point, this is the query point. This is where you see every data you import into the Power Query. You see it at this point. Then here is where you can change your profile. You can change the name. Let's decide to call this one calendar. Let me call it calendar. Okay. Okay. Then here is the data itself. And here I can start performing transformations on this data. Okay. One of the first things you try to do as an analyst is to check for your data type. You can see that this particular data is dates. It's a date. Okay, it's date data type. So I'll check on the Power BI and see that it is date, because if you, when you see this sign here, you will know is a date data type. Then this is an integer. These are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, an integer type of data. So I can see that this data is correct. Then also this one is an integer too. With that, now I can see that this one does not have a name, and also this one does not have a name. So now what do I want to do? What transformation do I want to do with this? I really don't need this particular column. Okay, I don't need this column. Okay, so I can remove this column. So if I want to remove a column, I will go to the remove columns. Okay, the ribbon there, can see the remove columns. If I just click on remove column, it's going to remove that column for me. Now, in case you make a mistake, okay, and you want to reapply that step. You don't want that step to happen again, just like you have in your Excel, where you go to that round thing and you return. Here you can, these are apply steps. These are where you see all the steps you have taken. If I want to return, if I want to reverse what I just did, all I need to come here is to click on this to reapply the step. As you can see, it has brought it back, but we don't need that column. So I'll remove it. I'll remove the column. Okay. I really don't need this one too. I really don't need this one. I will also remove this column too. We can right click to remove columns, and reply to remove columns. So we can do that, remove columns. Okay. So I just want to do these 2 steps here. Then once I'm good, I'm okay, I like what I see, and I change the name to the word I want, I can now go to where we call close and apply. You just click on it, you close, and you apply. It will now load it into Power BI. Okay, it will now load it into Power BI. And once it loads it, you will see it in this part, in this data part. Okay, it will load it in the data part. Let's wait a little bit for it to close. This is the point where you build visuals. So it's loading the calendar. So it's loading the data. So you can see it has loaded the data. This is the calendar. Okay. This one, you can remove all these visual points. We don't need them for now. Tomorrow when we do them, we need them. Okay. So these are our first data we have loaded. We have successfully loaded the calendar. So you can, if you click the drop down, you'll see the date ID and the transaction ID. So if you just continue like that, you want to get another data, it can be from any source, okay? But the sample data we'll be using is a CSV file. So it's on my system already. So let's get another data. Let's get the customer. Let's get this customer, okay? Open it. You can also open it in Power Query. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Remember, I told you we transform the data so that it will open it up in the Power Query. So beautiful. So this is the second data we are loading. Okay, first things first, let me come here. Let me change the name. I want to call it customers. Okay, let me call it customers. Let's take away the ZZ. Okay, so this will be the name of the table customers. Then we check the data type, check the customer ID. This is the home store number. We have the customer first name. We have the customer email. Okay, as you can see, this is basically a sales data. Okay, it is a sales data. Okay, we can see the things that are there. We have the customer email, the customer since first and so day. We have the loyalty card. We have the birth dates. Okay, then the gender is there, okay, and the age, okay. Now, don't really want this column, so I think I'll also remove this column. So we can go to, you can also go to add and remove column, or you can go to transform. I will go to your home, you'll see there, then just click on remove columns. So I'll remove that column, okay. Now we can also do some transformation here, okay. Can also do some transformation here. I can decide here in this part, that is the birth date, okay. I want to know probably the year they were born, okay. I can come to this column, okay. We go to sorry. So I can decide in this part, I want to get not just to see the data type. I want to see the year. Okay, I want to like get the year where, you know, I don't know if you understand me, the year when they were born. Okay, I can come to this point. I can come here. I'll go to year. Okay, I'll go to year. Click on the year. Tell me which year do I want to click on and get the year, or the start of the year, or the end of the year. Let's just click the year and see. Okay. You see, it has changed it to 1950. These are the years they were born. It has removed the month part. It has removed the date part. You can do that for anyone. You can also do it in a new column. Okay, you can do it in a new column, or you can do it in the column you want. If I want to return, I don't want that again, I'll just reverse it. So I'll just click on that apply step, delete it, and I'll get back to the part here. Okay, that we want. So because I want to just do some of the transformations very quick so that we can add the data and we're good with that. So I think we are good. We are good with that. Then we now go to our home. Okay. We'll go to the close and apply. Then we just close and apply, and it will load it into Power BI. And one of the beautiful things Power BI can also do for you is adding, as it is loading the data, it is also creating a relationship. It's creating a model. It's modeling the data for you. It's creating a relationship between the tables. So we can see it has loaded. It has loaded it. Okay, please, am I still communicating? Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Yes,
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's load more data. Why I want to load this data is so that when we have them on our system by tomorrow, by the next class, we'll now use it to build visualization. There are things we are also going to do here, like probably check our slide. We're also going to do DAX. We're going to do two types of DAX. We're going to do the calculated columns, and we're also going to do the measures. Okay, we want to learn how to create calculated columns. How to learn how to create the measures. But we need to bring in these data, okay, so that because you can't work in Power BI without data. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. So let's bring in another data. Let's just try and be fast with that. Okay, let's bring in another data. We brought in the customer. Okay, let's take the employee. Okay, let's bring in the employee too. Anytime you open a data from any source, the first place it will take you is to your Power Query. Okay, that's a Power Query where you can transform and do all your transformation before you now load it. Okay, so to open up the Power Query now for me. Okay. Okay, beautiful. So these are our employees. Okay, one of the first thing you do is check for the title, the table, the table name. If it's okay, you leave it. If it's not okay, you put it the way you want. Okay, I want it to be employees. Okay, I want it to take that table name, employees. Then I'll now go ahead to check for my data type. I'll look at the data types. This is in numbers. It's 1, 2, 3 is okay. This first name is text. They say we see that is okay. Now, in case the data type is not correct, you can always come here to change the data type. Okay. When you click on it, it will bring out different type of, data type. You can now choose the one in case it's not correct. But one of the beautiful thing about Power BI is that it detects the kind of data type and puts it there for you. Okay. Already. So we have the last name here. We have the full name, which is marked this. Okay. I will remove this because we'll do something like this in our, what's it called? When we start writing DAX, okay? So we can remove that. Okay, let me use the one we used to already. Sorry, this guy is covering me up. So we want to remove. Okay, so let's remove this column. So we can click, we'll remove the column. Okay, we don't need that column anymore. We don't need that column anymore. So let's continue. Okay. So we have the start date. We are good. So because of time, let's just close and apply. I believe we are good. With this, we close and apply. It will load it too. Please, anyone with a question at this point? Okay. Anyone with any question on what you have done so far? Hope we understand the process of what we're trying to do here. So we're trying to get data again. Let's bring in the food inventory. Okay, we transform and we load the data. We'll rush through this so that we'll be fast. It's just the same process. Once it loads, Okay, once it's closed, we change the name. Look, I think the food inventory is okay. Let's just remove this ZZ. I think it's okay. This transaction date, big date is showing me error. Why? Let's look at it. Okay. Let's see. They are all dates. Why is it showing me error? Okay. Okay. Let me remove it and see if the error is sustained. Okay. We'll probably need it later, but for now we don't need it. Okay. Let's check whether 1, 2, 3 quantities. Okay. Quantity sold. Quantity sold. Okay. This is the big dates. Do I really need that? Okay. Let's go down and look for the dates. Okay, so let's close and apply. Close, apply. So that will load it. So we just need to get 2 more data and then we can now go to the third, the second, and the almost the last part of our class today. Okay. So let's just get the data. Please, do we have any question on the process of getting data? Anyone has any question on the process of getting data? Getting data from the source. Like I said, you can get data from any source. You can get it from an Excel workbook. You can get it from an SQL database. You can get it even from the cloud. You can get it from the web. Okay, you can see all the sources of getting data. They're all written here. You can get it from Excel. You can get it from data flows, from Dataverse, SQL Server. You can get it from anywhere, even from the web. You can get it from the cloud. Okay, so there are even more sources of getting data. So, and all of them, when you want to get there, you still come down to this point where you get data and you now load it, okay? So you can see all the data we are loading is putting in the data section for us, okay? On the data section for us. Okay, which one are we waiting to load? I thought we've loaded, okay, it has loaded the food inventory already. So let's get one more data. Let's get one more data. I think that should be our sales. Let's take the sales by store, open it in our data for us. Open it up in Power Query. So let's transform the data. Okay. So beautiful. So the first thing I do, I try to rename my table or rename it, but I'm okay with sales by store. I check for my data types. Okay. Okay, there are many things you can do here. It's not just checking data types or checking, there are many things, but I believe by the time you start working with Power BI, working with query, you see a lot of things you want to do. So I think I would like to remove some stuffs here. I'd like to remove some stuffs here. What do I really don't need here? So many stuffs here. Total sales. Total sales. Total sales. Okay. Do I really need that? Also, we can also remove some of these stuffs, even when we don't need them. We can also remove them even in our main Power BI. But a lot of times I like working with them. I like removing them here. In store, I don't really need this. I don't really need this. I just need my data. So let me remove that. Let me remove that column. really don't need it. Okay, the order, probably we need the order later. We need the product ID, the quantity sold, okay, product ID, the unit price, the current cost, okay, the promo. I don't really need this. So click on it and we remove the column, okay. This total sales. Do we really need the total sales for now? Let's see. Okay, I really don't need this column, so I don't need this column. So let's remove it. Let's remove it. Okay. So beautiful. So let's close and apply. Let's close and apply. So we know we're done. We're good with our letter. So close and apply. A lot of times when you are giving data to work with, probably by a client or anything, a lot of times they give you time to work with it. Okay. Sometimes they give you a week, sometimes they give you 2 weeks. Okay, to build dashboards, to analyze the data and build dashboards to them. So it's not something you get, you rush. It's something you take your time. Like some of this, why I'm doing it like this, because some of those data some of them have already cleaned them, have already removed duplicates and all those stuff. Done some of those stuffs even before, you understand, even before saving the data, so that we don't need to get down to this. We're doing that. So what we want to do is to do the ones that you understand that will really make us understand how Power BI works. Okay, how Power BI works. That's the essence. Okay, please. After this one goes, I just have just one more table. I think the product. We have to bring in a product table so that I can look at our products, because you can see here we have the calendar, we have the customers, we have the employees, we have the food inventory. We are bringing in the sales by store. So then I think we'll need a product. We'll need a product table so that at least we can know the product, the company, the store sales. Okay, so it's loading that. Miriam, please, how much time do we have?
It depends, sir.
It depends, because
Yes, if you're probably done with the basics, what you're doing, fine. Then we can probably resume for the practicals tomorrow.
okay, but I hope we'll just be patient. Let's load this data so that by tomorrow we'll get into the beauty of actually using them. Okay, of actually using them. You know, sometimes this is Power BI is not something we rush. You know, it's not like probably Excel where you just bring in the tables, you create your pivot tables, and you understand, and you start building visuals. Okay, you have to get them and you transform them and you load them. Okay, so I believe if you can give me the next 10-15 minutes, I think will be good. Let me just get in one more data. Is that okay, Mira?
It's fine, sir.
Okay. Okay, do we have any questions yet? Do we have any question from the participants? Okay, let's look at what product. Okay, let's take this product. Okay. So it's going to load that. Okay, beautiful. So we transform and we load the data. Okay, so we have loaded we've loaded our products. Let's change the name. That's the first thing. We just come to this point and I think remove the liquid part of it. Okay, products. Let's call it products. Okay, that's okay. Then I don't need this. I don't think I need this. I don't need it, I will definitely remove it. Let's remove this column so that we'll have more space to see what we are doing. Okay. Let's see which other table that we might not need. Which other table that we might not need. The current retail price is okay. Current wholesale price, current costs. Okay. Okay, let's do something here. Let's change this table name. Let's change it to unit cost. Okay, we can change it to unit cost. How do I do that? I double click. Okay, I double click on it. Just double click. It's not changed. Okay, change to unit cost. Okay, just double click on the column name. Okay, then it will highlight it. Then you can now go ahead to change it. Okay, so that's okay there. Okay. Do we have any other thing we don't want? Let's see. Okay, I don't want that. I don't want. I don't want this. I have no business. We will not have anything to do with that when we start building visuals. So let's remove it. Let's remove that. Okay. Even this promo, I don't think I need it. I don't think I need it. So let's remove the promo too. Okay. Are you still there? Remove promo. Okay. Okay, beautiful. So we can now go ahead and close and apply. So these are our product group. This is the product category. This is the product type. And this is actually the product itself. Okay. So let's close. Okay, beautiful. So if we can see by my right, it has actually loaded all our data calendar. We look at the customers. It has loaded the customers with all its columns. Then the employees too, it has done that. Okay, up to the product and the sales by store. Now, once your data, you've loaded your data, the next thing to do once you working with Power BI is you go down to your model. You go to your model view and go and check the relationships, okay? Because what Power BI does is that when you load your data, it automatically creates relationship for you with those tables, okay? Now, what are those relationships? Those relationships makes you relate, as in move. You can move a column from one table to another. Okay, and when we start dealing with calculated fits and measures, you understand, you will now see the big deal or the real stuff about relationship. Relationship is very, very important. If there's no relationship, we can't even do any calculation, we can't even create measures on it, and we can't use the tables together. Can't use them together. So we'll minimize some of them so that we can see the relationships that have been created. Okay. So I don't know, Miriam, if it's okay, then maybe we'll just talk about these relationships. Then I will stop here for today. Then from tomorrow, we can now complete on them, build the calculated fields and do some dashboards and do some analysis. If that's okay. Is that okay?
It's fine, sir. Please go on.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello. I said it's fine, sir.
Can you hear me?
We
Hello,
can
can you hear
hear
me?
you, sir.
Yeah. I said if it's okay, I can just talk about the relationship a little bit, then we can.
Yes, it's fine, sir. It's fine, sir. Then we can continue tomorrow.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said it's fine, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. So let me take this one down so that we can see. Okay, so these are the tables that we brought in. Okay, these are the tables that were brought in. Okay, and with their columns. Okay, now if you notice, you will see a line. Let's take this one for example, products and food inventory. You will see a line drawn from this table, from this product table to the food inventory table. You see a line, you see one, and you see star. What this relationship means is that this is a one to many. This asterisk means many, okay? It's a one to many relationship, okay? There are three types of relationship you can have in Power BI. You can have a one to many relationship, which is the core, which is the main relationship, okay? Then we also have a many to many relationship. In that kind of relationship, a lot of times you have errors, okay? Because at that point, Power BI cannot understand, you understand, which particular column or which particular table you're actually accessing at that time, because you're looking at a many to many relationship. Okay, when we start using it, you will understand it more. Okay, then we have another relationship called one to one relationship. Okay, and that one to one relationship, what it creates is it creates redundancy. What we mean by redundancy is that there's no need having a one to one relationship. You as well just merge the table and let it be one. Okay, so but the main relationship we are looking at that we use at every point in time is this one to many relationship. Okay, now that relationship is created by using the primary key to a foreign key. Now, what do we mean by primary key? Primary key means it's a unique key, is a unique identifier in that table, okay, and can just be only one. But that same key in another table will be a foreign key that we can have many of those numbers. Take for example now, we have the product ID. This one is related to the product ID. Let's bring this one down. Let's bring it down, see. Okay, so if I come to this point, you see that it is linked, the product ID here is linked to this product ID here, okay? Now this product ID on this product table is one, but on the food inventory, we can have many product ID because there are many products in that food inventory that has that same product ID, okay? So that's why it's a one. This one here is just one unique one, but is relating to the food, to the product ID in the food inventory, which can be many, okay? Which can be many. So this relationship is very, very important. And you can create them by dragging one to another. Let's take, for instance, I decide to delete this. If you want to delete the relationship, you right click on it and you click on, you delete, okay? It will delete the relationship. You just say yes. So it will delete that relationship. So I can see it has deleted the relationship. So we no longer have a relationship between the products and the food inventory. If I want to create that relationship back, I will take the product ID, I will drag it to the product ID, of the products, and it will create that relationship. Okay, it's telling me want to create a new relationship. I said yes. So save. So let it create it. Yeah, create it. So it's working on it. So as you can see, it has created the relationship. Okay. So this relationship is very, very important when you are working on Power BI. Creating this relationship is what we call models. Okay. When you have to create models, you have to learn how to create models. This is just basically what it means. Okay. when you model your data, you are creating a relationship between tables so that the tables can interact with themselves. Okay, so this is also the different types of relationship, the one-to-many relationship, the many-to-many relationship, and the one-to-one relationship that are also called cardinality. Okay, that's the cardinality of your Power BI. So it's either you have a one-to-one, one-to-many, which is the main relationship that is allowed, that is okay for interaction between tables, or you have a many-to-many. A lot of time when you have a many-to-many, you have to find a way of making it a one-to-many relationship. In some cases, you have to go create another table for it, or you use index, okay, so that I can create a one-to-many relationship, which is what we want. And if you notice, this is mainly what we have here, okay? So I think we will stop here for today. We'll stop here for today, and we'll continue tomorrow. So what we've been able to achieve today, we've been able to talk about what Power BI is. Okay, we will say Power BI. The platform itself is built on the same engine with Excel. Is a visualization tool where you use to do data analysis and create insights and build dashboards. And it's also a reporting tool, because when you create your dashboard, you can then go ahead to share it. That's thereby reporting, sending your report to your clients where they can view it. Okay. And we also talked about what Power BI can do in terms of getting data from different sources, in terms of where you can load different data from different sources, where you can also transform data. Okay, you can transform your data in every way possible. The ones we just did are just a little bit of transformation. You can do a whole lot of transformation. Okay, a whole lot of transformation. It just depends on what your data or what you require in analyzing your data. Okay, then you can model your data, which is what we just did. Okay, then by tomorrow we'll start building visualization, basic visualization. Then you'll now share your data. Okay, so and also we'll be able to see how to get data into our Power BI. Okay, and we'll be able to get data into our Power BI. We'll be able to do that. We're able to achieve that today. Okay, and we're also seeing how we can model our data. Okay, our data are modeled. Okay, each table modeling means we are creating relationship with each table. Just like you can see here that this employee table, okay, has a relationship, a one-to-many relationship with the sales stock. The same thing with the customer has a relationship with the sales stock. So those are just basically the things we'll be able to achieve today. So I don't know if we have any question, if you'd like to ask any question for me.
Oh,
Do we
thank you
have
so
any
much, sir.
question?
Thank you so much, sir. I don't know. Do we have any questions? Because there are no questions in the chat box.
Okay. Okay, so but please, do we understand or do we have any, you understand anything we want me to explain a little bit more on what we've been able to achieve today, what we've been able to do today?
Okay,
All
good
right, do we
evening,
have
sir.
any? Yeah, whisper.
Okay, sir, thank you so much for the session today. However,
Okay,
I will go back to the video and like take my time to digest it more. So that's
okay,
what I wanted to say. Thank you, sir.
okay, no problem. Thank you, Gloria. You're welcome. You're welcome. So do we have any other one? Any other question, observation, or what you want to ask? Okay. So if there are no questions, Okay, I would like to thank you all and also say we'll build from here on what we've been able to achieve today. Okay. Power BI it's not a 1 hour, 2 hour course. It's itself. It's large. It's large. What I'm just trying to do is just to bring in a lot of things together at the same time. We're just trying to take in the core things you need to know in Power BI, which is basically the workflow. Okay. The workflow is get the data into the Power BI, be able to do some transformations on it, be able to load it into Power BI, and be able to build some basic visual or build visualization, thereby analyzing your data. In building that visualization, you have to do some things before then, which is one we have done, which is modeling. Then the second one is to create like calculated fields and create measures. Okay, so we'll create calculated fields tomorrow, we create measures tomorrow, and then we'll build visualization tomorrow. So if pending no other question, Mary, I think I'd like to hand over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Class. Thank you so much. So hopefully we'll be looking forward to tomorrow's class, and I will beg at the interns, to please log in on time so that we can as well, do much more tomorrow. Thank you so much, sir. And I think we can call it a night. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Do have a blessed night, okay? Yeah, good night.